This episode is exclusively sponsored by CanWe. Get clear on what you and your date are looking for faster. CanWe is your expert guide on your dating journey. Check out the CanWe app in Apple's App Store or on Google Play. Hi there, I'm Vincent Boss and I provide dating and self-improvement advice. And in today's podcast, we're going to be discussing stubborn dumper guilt. I provide audio coaching to help people try and get their ex back or get a new girlfriend or boyfriend. Check out my website for more details. www.dateme.tips. Please check your spam and junk folders if you are expecting an email from me. So now let's get back into today's podcast, and today we are discussing stubborn dumper guilt. So if you have been dumped and want to try to get your ex back, you might be concerned that your ex is stubborn. Once they make a decision, then that's final. This is what you might be thinking. This is what you might have actually have been told. In today's podcast, I'm going to give 3 reasons why even the most stubborn ex might feel guilt and change their mind. So let's get straight into this. And number 1 is romantic feelings are powerful. Romantic feelings are so powerful that they can change even the most stubborn person's heart and mind. Let me give you an example. Look at yourself. Now you might think, look, I'm not the most stubborn person. It's my ex who is more stubborn than me. But I can tell you that there is no way that even if you're not stubborn, there is no way that you would want to be thinking and feeling the way you are right now. If you could have your way, then you would not be behaving in the way you are now. You would not be feeling the way you are now. You would not be thinking of your ex 24/7. So even if you don't believe you're a stubborn person, I can safely say that this is not what you want. You do not want to be thinking of your ex all of the time. You're probably even thinking, I don't even really want them back if I think logically. But I can't help it. And the reason you can't help it is because romantic feelings are so powerful. Romantic feelings, in my belief, will always eventually evolve to the stage where if somebody feels enough of them, if somebody feels enough strong romantic emotional attraction, then they will have to take action. They will have to reach out to their former partner. Look how hard you're finding it not to reach out to your ex. You want to reach out to your ex right now. You're listening to this podcast as a way to try to stop yourself reaching out to your ex. Well, here's the thing. The vast majority of dumpers aren't listening to podcasts informing them of the reasons why it wouldn't be beneficial to reach out to them. And even if they did listen to a podcast about wanting to reconnect, if they was listening to mine, for example, I always suggest that a dumper does reach out. So it's win-win. You know, most dumpers won't be listening for advice to stop them. And even if they are looking for advice, they would hear people like myself actually encouraging them to reach out. So you're doing everything you can as a dumpy not to reach out to your ex, whereas your dumper won't have that same benefit. They won't have people saying to them, look, don't reach out to your ex. It's very unlikely that this would be the case. So they will be feeling the full force of romantic emotional attraction building over time, convincing them that they need to reach out to you. Now, of course, there is no 100% guaranteed way to get your ex back. And unfortunately, not every dumper will reach out, but that will be because they have not gained enough romantic emotional attraction. This won't be because that they're stubborn. If they have grown enough romantic emotional attraction, then this will beat their stubbornness. I'm absolutely certain of that. So if you are a dumpy and if you don't hear from your ex again, then this won't be because they are stubborn. It will be because, unfortunately, they have not regrown enough attraction. The attraction has not reached the necessary high point for them to feel guilt and for them to reach out. But please rest assured that romantic feelings are powerful. You are battling them yourself right now, and your ex will be battling them in the future if you do enough of the right things. If your relationship breakup and aftermath left them in a position where they are able to regrow enough romantic emotional attraction, if all of these things come together, then your ex won't be able to fight them. They won't be able to avoid reaching out to you if the attraction level hits the necessary high point. So point number 1 in today's podcast is, please always remember, romantic feelings are very powerful and they will beat stubbornness. So now let's get into point number 2 and the second point of today's podcast about stubborn dumper guilt. And point number 2 is pain beats saving face. So you might be thinking, my ex the dumper would always save face over anything that might happen to them. You might be thinking, my ex the dumper actually said to me at the time of a breakup, I will never speak to you again. We will never get back together. Please understand, this is the end. And now as a dumpy, you're thinking they've said this. They would never risk losing face. They are somebody who really values their reputation, and they don't want their reputation being tarnished by them saying one thing a few months ago and now changing their mind. They will always save their face. They don't want to lose face. They don't want to lose respect. They don't want to look silly by changing their mind. Why on earth would they do that? Well, let me tell you that pain beats saving face. And when I say this, what I mean is we need to look at a slightly different context of this. People will do more to alleviate pain than they will to find happiness. Well, you might think that sounds very confusing. And what does this have to do with the situation? So basically, in essence, the vast majority of people will do something to try to stop the pain rather than doing something to continue and to grow happiness. Look at yourself as an example. You are a dumpy going through pain and you are now listening to a podcast. Were you listening to podcasts when you was in your relationship? Were you listening to podcasts when things were going okay? And you kind of thought, well, they could be going better, but they're going okay, that's fine. I very much doubt you was listening to podcasts about how to extend, improve and grow your relationship. You're listening to a podcast now because you're feeling incredible pain. And that is because most people will act to avoid and stop pain. And they will do this more often than trying to find and grow happiness. So now let's look how this connects to your situation with your ex. Your ex might be stubborn. Your ex might be the type of person who wants to save face, who wants to be the type of person who has respect in their own eyes as they see it. But if they are feeling pain, if they are missing you, if they are feeling like they're not happy in their current life, maybe they ended the relationship and they have not found a new connection. Or maybe they met somebody and it fizzled out very quickly as a rebound. Maybe they are feeling that single life isn't as good as they had hoped. Then at this point they will start to feel pain. And when this develops into guilt about how they treated you, about how the relationship with you wasn't as bad as it may have first seemed, once they start to feel this guilt, they start to feel this pain, this is more powerful than the respect. This is more powerful than saving face. And as I said at the start of point number 2, people will do more to alleviate and stop pain than they will do to continue with happiness. So if we look at it in that respect, what we can see is that your ex the dumper, if they are feeling pain, if they are feeling guilt, then this is when they will want to reconnect. This is when they will want to reach out at the very least. They might not necessarily think, okay, we're going to get back together. They might just think to themselves, I just want to send my ex a message. They probably won't even think of it too deeply. This will all be subconscious. But please always remember, as a dumpy, that pain beats saving face. Pain beats respect. Somebody feeling pain will want to do something to alleviate that pain, even if it flies in the face of respect, even if it creates a situation where they are losing face in their own mind. Okay, they might be thinking, well, this isn't really what I want to do, but I've got to do it. I've got to stop the pain. And I know in the back of my mind that sending my ex a message will stop the pain. That's what you're thinking right now as a dumpy. And I'm here to tell you that it's very unlikely to help you. That's why you're listening. I'm holding you back, you might say, from messaging your ex. Your ex is very unlikely to be listening to something which is trying to stop them doing this. Dumpers very rarely listen to things to give them information. They just kind of go on their own path. And even if they was to listen, especially to me, if a dumper is listening to me right now, I would always say that a dumper has to reach out to their dumpy. It's different. It's the other way around. So as a dumpee, you are doing everything right. And as a dumper, if they're listening to advice, especially mine, then they will definitely be told to reach out to you. But the odds are that they aren't listening to anybody at all, because most dumpers will just go on their own journey, doing their own thing and trusting their own instinct. And when they're feeling the pain, they are very likely to reach out to you. So now let's get into point number 3 and the final point of today's podcast about stubborn dumper guilt. And point number 3 is if communication has gone smoothly. So as I said in point number 2, the dumper might reach out to the dumpee without really thinking too much about what they're doing. This could all be subconscious. They might not even be thinking that they want to reconnect at this time, but they just feel a desire to reach out to their dumpee. So at this stage, it is all about the communication. I often say that the communication stage is the most challenging part of trying to get your ex back, and you must navigate the communication stage effectively as a dumpee. If the communication goes smoothly, then this is where a dumper's guilt can really go through the roof. They might be subconsciously feeling some guilt, and that is why they decide to reach out to their ex. The romantic emotional attraction has hit the necessary high point, and they have reached out to their dumpee. But speaking to their ex, if it's communicated effectively by their dumpee, this is where a dumper can really start to feel the guilt, really start to feel the pain, because they will actually miss their ex. They'll be thinking, wow, that conversation was brilliant. I really, really miss them. And I really want to reconnect. So even if the dumper initially just reached out without really realizing why and for what reason, if and when they do this, if this goes well, if this goes smoothly, they might be thinking, I really miss my ex. I really wish I was with them. So that's why it's so important as a dumpee that the communication goes smoothly, that you navigate it effectively, and you use the advice that I give. Now, communication can be very challenging. I'm not here to say anything otherwise. It is, in my opinion, the most difficult part of trying to get your ex back. And when I do my audio coaching, this is where most people find the most difficulty. Most of my audio coaching clients are asking for advice about the communication stage, and that's what I can help you with. My podcasts have to be generalized. I'm speaking to everybody. My content can't be specific to you unless we are speaking one-on-one. So if you feel that speaking one-on-one with me could increase your chance of success, then please go onto my website, www.dateme.tips, and check out the information on my audio coaching services. Because this could be something which helps you. Look, I'm honest and I'm genuine. Nothing works 100% of the time and nothing fails 100% of the time. But what I can tell you and what I can link to your unique situation is what is more likely to give you success and what is more likely to fail. And then you can use this information to make an educated decision about what you want to do and how you will proceed. At the end of the day, everything is your decision, and whatever happens, please remember that with or without your ex, you will have a positive future. If you believe that this podcast has helped you, then please consider buying me a coffee. The link to do so is in the description.
Yeah, if you miss your ex, we can help with that. Help you get him back, or we can help find you someone else. Yeah, Vincent, the relationship coach, giving you some insight, bringing you a new approach. DateMe.tips, go and check the site, giving you advice, helping with your love life. Get your ex back, or move to the next. Ain't no sweat, Vincent got you. Finding love ain't no problem. Yeah, DateMe.tips, check it out now.